collection of
This conference will now be recorded.
okay, all right. So security roles are nothing but it's a collection of privileges, and those security roles can be assigned within the user or the user group definition. Okay, so first let's try to understand what are security roles, and then we will try to connect it with the user and the user groups. So now, whenever you want to define a security role, come to the configuration manager. Under administration itself, come to configuration managers, and you will see all the security roles over here. Now there are few predefined security roles, and if I just open one of them, let's say normal user, or maybe let's say power user. Power users has everything. So if I click on edit, you will see a certain list of privileges, okay, and whether it has been enabled or it would have been disabled. So under web, MicroStrategy web, what kind of privileges it has to have? It can, change the view mode, it can do a export, it can do a search. So if you look over here, minor things have been listed over here. So definitely we cannot cover these privileges, it's all self-explanatory over here, but the main idea over here to understand is what kind of privileges it has to be assigned. So you can see over here it's web reporting related. We have web analyst, which can publish the intelligent queue, which can define the derived elements, derive metrics. They can edit the dashboard, they can create the dashboard, they can save the dashboard, and so on. So the top three are for the MicroStrategy web part. We have the web professional who can edit the links, who can create the HTML containers. They can also create intelligent queue based reports, and so on. So the top three over here are based on the the web part. Then we have some common privileges, whether they can do a drilling, whether they can create the application object. When I say application, the public objects, whether they can edit the nodes, they can export to Excel, and so on. They can export all the export functionalities, and so on. So these are all basic functionalities, the common privileges. Then we would have office related. These are all administration related, whether they can connect to the Microsoft Office with MicroStrategy. Then we have mobile configurations, whether they can run the reports through a mobile devices. They can use any kind of a deliveries. This is for the subscriptions, email subscription, file subscriptions, and so on. Then we have multi-source option. Then we have analyst, whether they can create all this analyst would be on the desktop. Okay, they can save the auto style, they can do a drill and linking, pivoting of data explorer, I mean, like, all this are like basic simple, but lots of properties which are available. You can see each and every properties are listed over here. So let me just collapse all those things so we understand what kind of privileges at the high levels are available. So you can see we have developer related, architect related. Architect means all the schema objects development. Then we have object manager, integrity manager, administration, operation manager. This all four are related to administration. So the power users has everything. You can see all the checkboxes have been selected, right? So what we do is, when we work within an organization, we create different security rules for the different job profiles. Okay, this set of users would have only certain accesses, certain other users would have a power, you know a power user accesses, and so on. So you can keep on creating those roles. You can just say right click, you can say new security role over here, and you can select the privileges as per your requirement. I want to have a special kind of a privilege where a certain user or a group of user can perform only the required actions, or only the required security things. You can always enable things over here. You can enable the corresponding properties over here, and once this has been done, it's a security role that can be assigned to the user or the user groups. Okay, so let's say for an example, I created a new security role over here, and I'm saying that this user will have only web access. So I'm just going to enable the web reporter, web analyst, and web professional. Okay, these are the three things, only web related. So I'm going to click on OK, and you will see a new security role has been created. I can rename this. This is, let's say, new admin role for web. That's it. So now how I can connect this thing with the user. So I'll go back to the user. Okay, and let's say I create this user, copy of user one, and now when I go to the project access over here, for a particular project I can select that particular security role. So you can click on this drop down, you will see a new admin role. You can see over here, new admin role. I select over here, and the web part is only been assigned. The deliveries is something, if you even if you click over here, it's, you can just disable that in case you want. This is at the high level, inherited level, but you can see the main thing is the web part. All the web privileges have been enabled over here. Okay, so different security roles can be created, and depending upon the requirement, you can select a particular one. Okay, so over here, let me go back to the project 1 second. Just give me a second. I wanted to show you one more thing. Okay, over here also you can assign it, like what kind of a project access a particular user or user group will have it. So now if you look over here, okay, so as a power users, they have been assigned over here. Okay, so for this particular project, I want to see at the project level directly, right? So this project level, as a security like as a power users, this particular users has been added. So either you can go from way one, or you can go via second way. So these are the just different options that are available. So in case I want to add someone with the new admin role, I can say show users, and let's say I go to the everyone group, and I can select the particular user over here. Okay, so even now this user will have the this particular security role assigned for this specific project. Okay, or else there is a one more thing that you can do over here. I can also assign this at the group level. So now let's say, now this is my group web reporter. Okay, so I'm going to a lot of groups. Okay, so now let's say for this, the last one, I'll right click and I will say edit. Okay, so now if you look over here, this is my user group, and even under user group I can go to the project access, and I can select what kind of a security role it can be assigned to. So now in this user group will have the privileges as per the security role that has been assigned over here. So now here onwards, whenever I create a user and save under this particular user group, okay, automatically those properties, those privileges will be inherited to the corresponding users. Okay, so this is all about the security role. A security role, to cut in short, is nothing. It's just the collection of all the privileges that can be assigned to the user or a user group at a project level. I'll take a pause over here. Any question, please? No? All right. So the one topic that we have just covered now is about the security roles. Now, what I will do is I will quickly walk you through as to what are the different things that you can see under the administration. Okay. Now, there are four main things over here. We have something called as system monitors, configuration managers, delivery managers, and user manager. Okay, so now let's say if I go to the system monitors. Now, okay, now this is something I will show you in a 3-tier mode. Let me go to the server mode. Just trying to connect. Okay, just taking some time. Is it? Seems my server is not up. Okay, I think it's my no. Okay, this is also an admin thing. My server is not uh, up, right? It's saying that either the possible the server is down or not. So whatever, in case you want to check whether your intelligence server is up and running, go to a service manager component. Now this is again comes along with your microstrategy. Okay, so if you search over here, there is something called a service manager, which will show you all the services and corresponding status. Okay, so we go to the service manager to understand whether my iServer is running or not. So let's just give a few seconds. It's trying to load the entire services of MicroStrategy. Okay, and you can see over here my service is MicroStrategy Intelligence Server, and it's currently under stop state, maybe because of some reason. I'll click on start, and once my intelligence server service is started, I should be able to log in into 3-tier mode. Okay, so again, one of the real-time scenarios from the administration standpoint, in case you're stuck or in case you see that your intelligence server is not running, so you can definitely restart over here. It'll just take a minute more, I guess, max. It's taking some time. Ideally, it should not take so much of time. Let's see. And you can see now the server state is running. And now if I try to log in into my project source, it's a 3-tier project source that's in the server mode. And you can see now I'm able to log in over here successfully. Okay, so now if I go to the administration tab, you will see over here 5 things: system administration, system monitors, configuration manager, delivery manager, and user manager. Let's start it one by one. I'll go to the system administrator. Now when you go to the system administration, there are 3 things that you can see. First, the projects. Which all projects that are present under this particular project source, and what is the corresponding status. So when you expand this over here, you can see the status is as loaded, which means when I say my status is loaded for the project, that is whenever a user or anyone logs in into the project source, logs into the environment, they would be able to see this particular project. Now let's consider a scenario that you don't want to make this project available. Okay, I would not say shut it down, but I want to make it disabled. I want to make it unload so that no person can access this environment unless and until it's ready for use. So what you can do over here is right click on that particular project. See, before do a check, you can see on the left hand side there are 2 projects. We can easily see, right, the human resource module and the microstrategy tutorial module. For some reason I want to unload human resource module. I don't want any user to access this particular project. So just right click on that project over here, go to the administrator project, and there is an option which called as unload. I'll click on unload over here, and you will see on the left hand side that project will go away. You can see now under this particular project source, I can access only the tutorial environment or tutorial project. Okay, so this is something we generally do when database goes down or the project is still in development phase, or for some temporary reason there is some maintenance and I don't want any user to access this particular project. So in such cases what you can do is you can always unload that particular project, and in case you want to load it back, same process, right click, go to the administrator project, and we have an option called as load. Okay, so under system administration, under project, you would be able to see all the projects that are present in my particular project source. I can change the state over here, and there are a few other things as well that you can do. The one thing is that again I can manage the user access. Security filter is a different concept. I will come to that later in the coming calls, but yeah, definitely I can also maintain the user access. Apart from that, when I go to the administer project, there are certain things which call as idle or resume, purge all the caches, and the project status. The project status is nothing. When you click on the project status, okay, it will just show you whatever the description that you want to enter. So this description will be viewed whenever the user accesses. So I can say this is my tutorial project, and in case you want, you can just save this. I can also change the format. Let me make it bold. I can also change all the font size and all those things. So let me make it, let's say 36. Okay, and this will be displayed at the top of my home page. So I'm going to save this. So now when I try to log in into the human resources module, let me do one thing. I'll show you from where, but that's where it's going to get displayed. So whatever status that we give, right, it's going to be displayed at the home page of that particular project. So now let's want to pass on a message to the user that the data that is present under this project is as of 25th August. Okay, so that kind of notification or that kind of a display can be added, which we call it as project description. Okay, so as we are waiting over here, let's see the other options that are available. Okay, if I go back to the project, if I go to the tutorial project, we did so with the project status over here, right? Yep. And apart from that, you can just do a bit of formatting. So under tutorial project, my this particular description has been added because see, I have selected a tutorial project. Oh, okay. So if I go to the tutorial project, no, nothing is added, but definitely we will see from the MicroStrategy web. Definitely it will not display through desktop. We will see it from the MicroStrategy web in next few minutes. Okay, so this is about the project under system administration. Second thing what we have over here is called as cluster nodes. Now this is a concept. We will discuss this in the coming calls. As of now, what we have seen is we created one environment with one server. Okay, now I can see over here there is only one MicroStrategy server. This is my server name, desktop hyphen UFBT5NM. This is my server. I have not created any kind of mechanism where my load balancing will happen or a kind of a failover activity will be resolved. In real-time scenario, what we do is we generally host our environment in on 2 or 3 iServers, so that if one iServer gets failed, still my other iServers can take all the requests. Or the other way, if hundreds or thousands of reports have been executed, it automatically route the request via different iServers, so that the parallel processing happens and there is not much load on my environment. As of now, we have only one iServer. So when we configure more than one iServers for a particular instance, that is called as clustering. Within a cluster, see, ideally we do max 3 because there is no point in doing in 4 5. At the max you can do 8 iServers cluster. Okay, depending upon your MicroStrategy version. Earlier it was only 2, then they uh, increased it by 4. Now it's 8 on the latest 10.x version. But yes, hardly that number is achievable. We maximum we keep it as 3, so that that is more than enough within the cluster environment. Okay, so the cluster nodes will show you all the iServers that have been configured for this particular project source, but as of now we just have one iServer, and that's the reason only one has been displayed over here. Okay, now before we do that, let me log into the tutorial project. Okay, and you can see now the project status. This is my tutorial project. So we generally use it when we want to pass it on a message to the users saying that the data that is present under this project is as of or whatever date that you want to display. Or we can also give some advanced alerts like this project will not be available from so and so date because of some maintenance. So all this kind of a notification that also can be added. We call it as project status. Now coming back over here, the third is the schedule maintenance. Now this is something which we will cover under the subscription along with the subscription. Okay, so we will see this later. Apart from that, we can also monitor our environment. When I say monitor our environment, I want to see at a particular instance which all user is executing what kind of reports or dashboards, or they have been executed since how many minutes and so on. So all these things can be viewable under jobs. So as of now, within this environment, no one is executing any report or dashboard, and that's the reason it's showing me as blank. But if I try to run any report, okay, it will be displayed over here saying that okay, this is the job ID, this is the particular user, the status, it's in running or it's in caching state, and the corresponding other information under which project, under which particular warehouse this report has been executed. So the job will give you the list of all the current report or a dashboard that has been executed within this particular project source. So there are, even if in one particular project source you have 10 projects, all the information about all the projects will be listed over here. When I say all the information, if a user one is running a report in project one and user two is running a report in project two, so both that reports information will be displayed. Okay, this user is executing this report, start time, end time, what is the current status, and so on. Everything will be listed. So this is more from the monitoring standpoint, which all jobs are being executed currently within my environment. And in the similar lines, I can also see which all user are connected to my environment. See, now we can see over here, I have logged into the Microstrategy desktop. I'm accessing tutorial project, I'm accessing human resource project, and from the web I'm accessing the tutorial project. You can see over here the source and the developer and the web. So from the developer I have accessed both this project, tutorial and human resources, and from the web I am accessing tutorial project. So you can see it shows us the open connection for a particular user. So it will not show you the reports. The reports and everything will be shown under the jobs, but these are all active user connections. So even in case you want to forcefully log, just knock it off any user, right click on that user, I mean like on that particular list, and you can just say disconnect. This will make sure that I'll be logged out from the MicroStrategy web. I can simply say disconnect. Now sometimes what happens, user doesn't logs off, or there is due to some issue the user connection is live. So what happens, we can forcefully go and disable. See, now you can see my user session has been lost. Why? Because from the user connection I disabled that particular or disconnected this particular user. So this user, like, I've logged in from the web, it has thrown me out from that session, and in case now I want to connect back, definitely I have to log in back. So for some reason, now let's say your server gets hanged and you see there are multiple connections that have been opened, where my server is not able to take that kind of a load. I can directly come to the user connection. I will see, is there any connection which are not required? I can simply knock them off from the environment. And similarly, I can also see the database connections. How many connections have been made to the database? So when you start executing the reports, they will open a connection to the databases, correct? So all those connections will be listed over here. So now I can get an idea as to which all databases have been accessed from this particular environment. And the other important point are the caches. Over here, I can see what are the different types of caches that are available. What are my report caches? What are my, do I have any report caches, document caches, or maybe intelligent cubes? So if I go to the intelligent cubes, certainly I should have it. Yeah, even my document caches are available, and these are all my intelligent cubes caches. If you remember in the developer call, we have covered a concept about the intelligent cubes. So whether my intelligent cube has been executed or not, whether that data has been cached or not, you can monitor under caches option. So under caches, you can come to the intelligent cubes and can see these are all cubes that are present and they have been cached as of the last update type and the corresponding size. So I know that this is my cube which was last refreshed on 5th May 2015. Okay, long back, and the corresponding size is 3629 kbs, so it's hardly 3 MB. Okay, so whenever a user, or let's say that as an administrator you have scheduled a particular intelligent queue for the refresh, you can definitely come and check under the caches option whether my intelligent queue has been executed successfully or not, whether a valid cache file is present for the intelligent queue or not. Fair enough. So we will stop over here for today. Okay, we have covered the security rules, and under the administration we just walked through on the system administration and system monitors. But before we sign off, any questions from anybody over here, please? No? All right then. So we'll log off over here. We'll sign off for today. Okay, and let's connect back tomorrow at same time, and we will continue with the other admin topics. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Abhishek.